Today is Friday the 24th, and here are this week's top auctions on Morphmarket. This is all taking place Central Time. I think the earliest ones that I'm looking at today are going to end about 4 p.m. Most of them will be more than that, all the way up until about Sunday at 5 p.m. So without further ado, let's get started. The first one that grabs my attention here is this lace Enchi Leopard het clown. It's from a trustable breeder. They don't have it labeled as 100% positive that it's lace, but it is very likely lace is what they're saying. And it is pretty nice, honestly. It's pretty bright. I would probably say the same. It came from Canova Batman, actually, lace Batman, and one of his own snakes. So it looks very nice. Again, normally don't care for the hets in the males, but if you can get lace, if lace is something you want to work into your collection, you can get that into your collection very, very fast. And since it has het clown on for the ride, you can possibly hit that still if you're going for some visual females, which are not expensive to pick up anymore. Right now sitting at about $100 with only one bid, and it's the earliest one that I'm picking right now. So I don't really see this going much higher. Very good pickup for the right person. Leopard is always amazing in clown. So is Enchi, honestly, but I would really love these two. Specifically, if this was a visual clown, I might consider this. I'm sure it would not be this price though. Next up from Chimera, which is also a very known trustable breeder, would be this clown pied super Enchi. You're guaranteed for this girl here to always pass on the clown and the pied gene as a het, and always one copy of Enchi. Very cool, very powerful. Lots of interest in this, but with just under 24 hours, this could stay a little bit on the lower side for what it's actually valued at. Worth a look, that's for certain. And if you're looking to get into the clown pied projects, this would be a very good, very powerful female to possibly get. There's a lot of stuff you can work with this, and if you get a male that's pretty powerful, and you make it clown pied yourself, because they're going to be a lot cheaper, you're going to be guaranteed to be pumping these out all the time. So very cool animal, worth a look for sure. The next one, I'm going to have a bit of a theme here, and that's some desert ghost het clown or clown het desert ghost stuff. There's a good amount on the auctions this week, so that means that people's attention are going to be split, which means that people are going to be bouncing around between these. So you could definitely score a amazing animal for cheap that could really elevate you, especially if you want to work the desert ghost clown projects. So right off the bat, all of these have no reserve. That's insanely awesome. So we have a desert ghost pastel het clown girl here, so you're guaranteed to always pass on that desert ghost. If you get yourself a male that's the opposite of that, that's a visual clown het desert ghost, maybe with some other cool genes in there, you're cooking. And look at that weight, 1,080 grams. It is getting there. This price is insane to me. Lots of interest though. You know that last 5 minutes or so, it's gonna go popping, so it's gonna be higher. This is a really good opportunity for somebody to get into the desert ghost clown. And then speaking of that, here's another female that is a clown pastel Enchi het desert ghost. So you have the opposite spectrum here. Just flip the hets and the visual now. Another very, very powerful breeder here. This one also, again, has a lot of size. I kind of like the other one just a little bit better. I like pastel desert ghosts. They stay very creamy and nice. But this one here is also not to be diminished in any way. In fact, you're getting an extra gene in Enchi when you go this route. It's just that the visual and the het have flipped. And then finally, we've got a male here. This one is a different kind of het though. But if you wanted to work the puzzle project, look no further. This is the clown Mojave Firefly het puzzle. Firefly is fire and pastel, but the Mojave is what I would personally be looking for in this project more than anything. But you make Mojave clown puzzle, so you get yourself a visual puzzle girl with some extra stuff in there, or even a het puzzle. You get yourself a visual puzzle girl with the het clown to work your hets and visuals against each other, so that you're always getting double hets minimum. And again, look at the weight, 450 grams. He's going to be there by the end of the year most likely, so you could start plugging him in right away if you have something for him to go to in the meantime. And we can test for het puzzle now. Genetic testing is available for puzzle, so if you have nothing puzzle wise to go to him, just put him to a visual clown, test the ones you like the most, and get some really cool things of this. Maybe put a GHI to that. The GHI Mojave clown, those are always amazing as heck. And then test them, see if you get some puzzle in there, use it next year or when you can. That would be pretty cool. Back to desert ghost het clowns. Here's another girl. This one's not as big, but I imagine it'll go for a little bit cheaper due to that. Right now at 360 bucks, 21 bids. All of these have a substantial amount of interest in them. another great opportunity to get into something where I think that this one will end a little bit cheaper personally than the other two. So if money is a object and you're left not getting one of the other ones, this could be a good consolation prize. Obviously you don't get any of the other genes in there, but again, it's a female and you can breed a lot of the males with a lot of genes into them and go from there. There have been some really good strangers on this auction lately. Stranger is just so cool. What it does, it's dark, but yet kind of has this exploding brightness just peeking up from the bottom. Crazy pattern changer. I'm sure the Specter obviously is affecting that as well, but it's crazy that you could tell me this is a fire. It is a little bit lighter, especially in the head. Very good price right now. Again, a good amount of interest there. Looks like a diverse set of buyers with multiple. There's only one name I really see being repeated in the first 5 anyways. It will end a bit higher, but I think this will end for a favorable price. And if you're looking to get Stranger into your collection, a male is the best way to go if you want to quickly get it through your collection and work it extensively. The 50% het clown, well, you can test for clown, so maybe you could get lucky, and this could be an absolutely insane animal to add to your collection. Getting a Stranger Specter clown with some other stuff in there, maybe that would be very, very, very cool. So definitely worth a look. Again, look at the size. The size is so favorable. It's theoretically could be ready. I'm right on the edge there, but I've seen males go for a lot, start producing, in some people's cases anyways, even a little bit smaller than that. Back to the Desert Ghost stuff, and this one might be the cleanest one I've seen. A Pastel Desert Ghost, but it's what else comes along with this. A triple head VPI Axanthic clown Hypo, but don't know what that reserve price is, but worth a look. Keep an eye on it. Maybe throw what you would like to get a deal on it. If you think like, hey, I'm willing to spend $900 if it's still sitting at $750, throw that $900, see if the reserve price goes away in the last minute or two. I've seen the DG Axanthic clown and it was nuts. It was one of the most beautiful snakes I've ever seen, and this could potentially make a very beautiful snake. 2 things with this, obviously being that reserve price, and I forgot to mention, they are in Canada. Sometimes it can be hard to see that. This is something that I'm sure, you know, they do export. And, oh, well, shipping is free. I don't know if that would apply to exports though. But then again, it says shipping is free. So shipping, here, actually it says it. Shipping to USA in 2 weeks to your local FedEx hub. USA Canadian customers only. Well, that no longer matters. So never mind. This is an exceptional thing, and it's one that's being opened up to US customers a little bit easier. If the reserve price can be met, this can make an exceptional animals. Look up the VPI Desert Ghost clown, the VPI Axanthic, that is, Desert Ghost clown that Canova made. We actually covered it in our video. I think we got a high score. We might have gotten one of the top ones from ball pythons from one of the Tinley shows. It was exceptional, and it was so bright, and it was just a very beautiful, bright white, and then very dark snake. It was probably one of the best examples of contrast I've ever seen. So beautiful animal. You could possibly make these with this if the price can stay favorable, and if you can beat that reserve price, this could be a great ad. Next up would be one of my favorites, a Monarch. This was just added, I think, yesterday. It's already jumped up to 750, and it does have a reserve again, but I imagine that this reserve will go away closer to the 2,000-ish range, which is usually what these on auction will go for, usually above 2,000. That's what I've seen anyways. One of the other cool things is that this is from one of the leaders with Monarch. Fun fact is that they bought out the collection from the person who founded the Monarch gene, who's no longer producing ball pythons anymore. They retired, basically. So basically, this is the origins of Monarch that you're getting here. A very cool animal, and you could get in cheaper than the $3,000+ range. This will go for less than that. I think the most I've seen the Monarchs on auction go for is about 2,500-ish, maybe a little more than that, which is still a very high amount. Makes me happy as a Monarch breeder that they're auctioning still for that high. I definitely think that this could be a great addition. If you're going to work Monarch as a gene seriously, and if it's going to be a focus for you, you should focus on males, because they're going to breed to a bunch of females and you're going to be able to create hets. Of course, you could always buy your own hets. Hets are becoming a lot more affordable for females, and definitely a way to just start making these animals, these amazing animals, right off the bat. Get some cool genes in there, but you can start making your own double hets. I'm doing that this year with Pied and with Clown. I'm really excited about the Clown because I want to work Monarch, Spotnose clowns, because I saw, it's my favorite Monarch I've ever seen was when I saw Canova make that one. So not for everybody, of course, but if you're thinking about a high-end morph that hasn't had a lot of work, you can still get in on the ground floor. This is the one I go for. Not all the time you see a Monarch on there, so definitely check it out. And again, guess what? There is a sunset on there too. So this, however, has no reserve. It is a sunset pastel, which isn't my favorite looking pastel, but that's not the point. You get a male here, so you can start breeding it into your collection. Hets are not as expensive anymore, and you can start working them in the ways that prevent the brown out. You can kind of already see it happening even on this little snake here. And it's one of the proponents why people try to criticize with sunset, but I think it can be done phenomenally. I don't work it myself, but it is a very unique and phenomenal morph when done correctly. So you can start working this into what does that. $460, this will go up, but I don't think it will be crazy. Check it out if you're into sunset, at least watch it. Let me know if you snag any of these, by the way. This one I would be very excited about. Now, Mahogany with Pied goes so well. The yellow belly being in there just is extra bonus, but this boy here is a proven boy. He's huge. You could start making yourself Suma Pieds, and that's really where I think it's at. I actually like the Suma Pied now more than I do the Panda Pied. I think it's super cool and unique because you get really dark jet black colors still, but then it's like, it almost like it mixes it, and then you get some of these really dark, nice, beautiful browns too. So it has these like little meetings of the worlds where you can see these globes of dark brown basically meeting these globes of pitch black. It's really cool. So pick yourself up a Mahogany Pied female girl or a Het Pied and go from there and make yourself some Suma Pieds and knock it out of the park with those. Again, a proven breeder at that. So even if you're not ready to make a Suma Pied right now, there's a lot of different things you can put this to, because Mahogany doesn't just always need to be put to Mahogany to make Sumas. It's very cool. Something that you can definitely use for an endless amounts of projects. And just for contrast, I wanted to show you what I meant with the Suma Pied. This is a Suma Pied, and like I said, you get these nice bronzing browns and then the jet black, and they meet each other and almost looks paradox and stuff like that. There's a potential that this one might actually be, because it's pretty unique, but I don't think it is, honestly. You can kind of see it here too with these awesome browns. Sometimes they'll blend like this, but then there's that jet black right there. This one has more of the bronzing. It's actually a beautiful amount of it too. Suma Pieds are to me better than the Panda Pieds. I like it. It's very unique, not just one color or the other color. So definitely pretty cool. This one I think has the potential to go a little bit cheaper than you might think. A lot of people don't really work Het Red Axanthic. I won't lie that I'm not the perfect person for it, but you can see its influence here along with Black Pastel. So you could start working into projects almost along the lines of the Pompeii-ish. A female, possible Het Piebald on top of that. So if it hits on that would make it very worth it. Very favorable price in it right now. No reserve, just a teensy bit of interest for now. This is the potential to add a lot for maybe not a lot, if that makes any sense. And if it does hit on that Het Pied, the possibilities are endless, really, what you could do for this. Very cool. Honestly, looking snake just in itself really makes you think about this gene here. Now, like I said, a lot of people don't work it, but when it's done right, you really get the same kind of cool looking things that you can get from some of these other subtle morphs like Yellow Belly, and more specifically with Red Stripe and such like that. It's kind of, you know, along the lines of what you're going for, these rusty kinds of colors. It looks very good in this, and I could see it possibly creating a version of like a Pompeii maybe, but you swap out the Red Stripe with this. I don't know if that's been done yet, but I bet you it'd look awesome for sure. Someone's gonna get very lucky. If this doubled or tripled in price, I still think it'd be very much worth it. Again, back to the Desert Ghost. I said that seemed to be the theme of the week. There's a lot of things with Clown and Desert Ghost. Now this is a Het Desert Ghost, but along the ride comes Chocolate, and that morph along with this makes this incredibly useful. It is an amazing deal. Chocolate Clown, Het, Desert Ghost Pastel. The Pastel being around for the ride necessarily, I would say, I don't know if I like that, but it is in Desert Ghost once you get the visual, if you can hit a visual. A male here, so he'd breed that chocolate gene. If you wanted to work it a little bit more into a couple females, you could do that. And again, he's got the visual clown, so at least he's got one marker on there. You could start working this to a Desert Ghost het clown female, maybe one of the ones we showed you earlier. The point here is that you can get a gene that is really cool, that I don't know if I've seen a lot of chocolate Desert Ghost clown, well, Desert Ghost in general, but I'd never seen a Desert Ghost chocolate clown, so I wonder what that would look like. That should look pretty darn cool. So worth it for sure. Right now that's $20. That's not staying at 20 bucks. No reserve. Take a look at it. It could definitely change your game. And guess what? I told you it's a theme. In fact, I breed these two together. Same breeder. This one, the girl is a little bit bigger, but not by too much, but she's well started. A Spotnose clown het Desert Ghost. You work Spotnose and chocolate into each other. Those I think has been done and it's cool. And you could create that with these two. Incredibly favorable price. But think about this, you have the Desert Ghost along for the ride. Imagine you hit the chocolate Spotnose DG clown. Holy cow. You would have a champion on your hand. A complete champion. You wouldn't have any of this. This would all get cleaned up. Not that I think this is bad, but this would get cleaned up immediately. This would blow people's minds. I don't think it's been done, but it has. Show me. But you could do that with these two snakes right here. And you saw how much this one went for. It was born early last year, so it probably sold within the last, well, yeah, it would have had to sold not too long ago. Within the last 8 months minimum, probably. So yeah, this would create a game-changing snake. Very, very, very well worth it. Dang, I'm tempted to work that project. Very tempted. I just don't have a lot of room, so I'd have to make room for that. But they're guaranteed hets, that's the thing. The only downside to this pairing is that the clown, you're hitting the clown each time. And then you'd have a 50% chance of hitting chocolate and Spotnose, which you really want. I'd want to miss on that Pastel if I'm going for this one. So you'd get that, but you're not even guaranteed to get a het. You're 66% hets. That's the only downside there. However, I still think it's worth it, but more often than not, you're gonna have a het. And your chances of hitting something absolutely insane are reasonably good for what you're doing anyways. And again, you'd always have the clown in your holdbacks. You can test for Desert Ghost now. This could be worth it. This might be my dark horse favorite combo right here. If you could snag these two right here, same breeder too, so guess what? You're shipping, he's charging 100, you're gonna combine that. I don't see why they wouldn't. So you're going to save on shipping by buying both of these. If you snag both of these animals, well worth it. Well worth it and a game changer for not a ton of money. 54 hours left. I'm very interested to see how this ends. If you wanted to skip the Desert Ghost at all and you wanted to go with something insanely cool but still stay with the clown route, this blackhead leopard clown will do that. It already looks insane. Blackhead is so cool, and look at that belly, man. Nobody ever talks about this sort of stuff, but when you can get that is so cool. Mershon Morse, this is a good one to end on. This is awesome. Bringing this boy, and again a boy, into your collection, I can just think the potential combos you could do. Throw this to a Spotnose clown female, and you could get blackhead Batmans, and throw it to a GHI, throw it to a lace and clean it up, but keep the darker colors for contrast. There's a lot you can do. Blackhead and leopard work incredibly well together. As you can clearly see, this animal itself, just by itself, is already crazy insane. Red stripe, black pastel, those would be really nice to see in there. I mean, heck, at this point, you didn't think about making a blackhead Pompeii, but you'd have to get the other 4 genes in there to do that. So that's just me reaching, saying like, oh, it'd be cool to see with that. So very cool one to end on as well. That'll do it for this week's top auctions. Obviously we go through the entire auctions, kind of show you here at the end a quick little drive by of every single one of them. There are some that I missed that I would like to add, but obviously I like to keep this a little bit shorter for ease of editing and getting it out in one day. Hope you enjoyed though. If you liked this video, check out our video we recently released on what we believe are the top 5 up and coming recessive morphs and ball pythons. Right? Oops, yeah, right there, do it there.